We're about to learn it.
All right. So, what does this homework mean for right now? I understand you're like looking at like, what's that? I have no idea. So, we are going to start our first sort of history topic today with the cause of the Revolutionary War. But the information that you need for tomorrow is you need an idea, a theme, all right? Something that you're interested in. And what you're going to do with that idea or theme, you're going to document how it's changed over time by using the 5 vocabulary phrases you're going to learn today. So don't look at it now and say, I have no idea what it is, because you don't. In a little bit, hopefully the idea is you do know what you're doing. And I'll even talk about some ideas at the end of the class as well. You will have the entire class period tomorrow to work on it, right? And then some time at home if you need to. I guarantee you, if you come in tomorrow with a theme in your head, and you're going to work the entire class tomorrow, you're good to go. You're done. You're not going to get any longer than that. Okay? Got it? So write down your homework book or whatever you write your homework down in, that you need to brainstorm an idea, a theme for tomorrow. All right? And you'll see. We'll get to that in a little bit. Who's missing today?
Me. Wait, more people? Oh, isn't someone there? No. Oh, I knew that. Nope. Everybody's here. Yeah, everyone's here.
Oh, I didn't know you were here. So, I don't know. It's like a smell coming from the vent, so I put like a air freshener on there.
We already had it.
What
do you do? You just take a picture. You just take a picture. Right there. Yeah. I'm gonna save 5 seconds. You're lying.
All right.
And it could have been you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, listen up for your name. Tell me your presents. So we have in alphabetical order. All right. So Dylan, Hannah, Jackson,
Present.
Donald, Margot.
Mister, how many times I gotta tell you?
What?
It's Jake.
Oh, Jake. I know that. I know. If I see you, I know it's Jake. But if I say the name aloud, Charles, Dean,
Here.
Ava,
Here.
Ryan, Hinkle,
Here.
Silas,
Here.
Sarah,
Hi.
Jack,
Here.
Natalie, Jacob, Bella,
Here.
Alex, Ryan,
Here.
Nevaeh, Caleb,
Here. The bear got money.
Devin,
Here.
Caleb,
Damien. Here.
Molly,
Here.
Julia,
Here.
Dan,
Here.
and Jackson.
Here.
Okay, so
The bear.
do you guys have friends?
No. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I like to compare. So we're going to start off today talking about the early relationship between the colonists and the king and the British Empire. I do like to refer to it as a friendship, as in something that started off as or business partnership. It was cordial. It was nice. They were okay with each other, right? And then over the years, it's going to turn into this mess, this war, and finally independence. So I want you guys to think right now of a friend. Don't say that person's name aloud. Think of a friend that you are no longer friends with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not friends anymore, Alex. Oh, yeah. We're through.
Okay.
We're done. I'm really done with you.
And so, with that friend that you're no longer friends with, you know that you started at a point where everything was good. You had that friendship. So, what happens over time is the friendship sort of deteriorates, right? And then it leads you to this. It leads you to the actual, you're no longer friends. Oh, that's not nice.
You get friend zone. The friend zone.
Does this really, honestly, most of the time, does this turn into that within like really the snap of a finger?
Yeah.
It can, but I said most of the time.
It takes time.
It takes time. What goes on in between here? What goes on there?
Blood.
Wow, that's bad. That's a bad friendship.
Probably just like them meeting other friends.
Okay, so them getting involved with other friends, meeting other people. What else? What's that? I heard war also. Yeah, that could lead to it. I heard drama. Drama as well. Yeah. War, drama. Sure. Problems that way as well, right? So it doesn't usually, most often, it doesn't just happen, right? And it's the same case for the colonists that we're going to learn about today and over the next couple weeks. Is that the relationship they had with the king and Parliament and the Prime Minister and the people of England was, in the beginning, it was a
Good
partnership.
afternoon, please pardon this interruption.
Is that a thing?
This is the last call for picture day. If you have not had your picture taken today, please go down to the gym at this time. Last call for picture day. Thank you.
I cheated on you. What?
All right.
Hey, I dare you.
So what I want to do is since we're starting off in the beginning of this, I just want to briefly talk about the early relationship, because a lot of people think that the early relationship between the colonists and King and England was bad, was really bad. It wasn't. It was actually decent. It was okay. After that, I want to talk about then how things change over time. And also I want to use ice cream as well. I love ice cream. Who loves ice cream? Ice cream, you cream?
I'll just go last.
Yeah. Okay.
I like cookies.
Hey, Alex. That's delicious. My favorite.
I like it, it makes me feel sick.
All right.
I like mint.
So.
There you go.
Here are our goals for today. Objectives. My hope is that when you walk out of this classroom is that you have a somewhat understanding of what mercantilism is. I know you probably have not heard that term, but you probably heard the context to what it's put in, also the information that goes along with it. And second, I want you to also walk away from this understanding the role between the mother country and the colonies. All right? Role between England and the Americas, the colonies. All right.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Munoz.
Are England and France the same thing?
No. They are both in Europe. Okay. Anytime I give out information, I will always have it on Schoology. So that's one. Also, anytime I give out information, I'll have hard copies up here of whatever I'm giving out. That's up there as well. So if you ever feel like you are behind, those are two places to check. Or you can just say to me once again, Mr. D, would you slow down a little bit, please? That's perfectly fine. All right? So, mercantilism, let's talk about that definition. On the top of your paper, in that big, rather large rectangular space, mercantilism. Would you please put this definition there? Mercantilism. Okay? Now, I do want you to understand, this whole relationship, especially the idea of mercantilism, is all focused on trade. Trade is the most important part of this relationship. Trade. I have this, you have that. Would you please give me this for that? This for that. That's the idea. This for that. And then what we have is the colonies. The colonies, and hopefully I'll show you this today. The colonies in the Americas, by the way, give me an example. What's a colony that you learned about last year? A 13 colony, original 13 colony. Don't call out. What's an original 13 colony name? PA, Pennsylvania. Virginia. North Carolina. New York. New England area, yes. Nope, that's it. Not even close. Good. South Carolina. All right, so the idea, they're all over the place, the 13 original colonies on the eastern seaboard side of the U.S. Each one each one sort of has or each region has its own unique raw materials. And these raw materials are exactly what they say they are. They're raw, as in they're really nothing yet. They're going to be turned into something. That's a finished product, a manufactured product. So they're going to take the raw materials and they're going to send them to the mother country, England. And England is going to turn those into really nice manufactured goods. That's the relationship. The colonies have a lot of something. The British, the English, they need it. They trade for it. And then what they'll do is they'll actually sell it back as a finished product to the colonies. And we're going to talk about that today. Okay? Goal! Goal is to make the mother country as wealthy, as powerful as they possibly could. That's what the focal point is. You guys live in a household, I believe, where a lot of the times the mother, the father, parent, guardian, whomever, the focal point is usually the kids. Take care of the kids, make sure the kids are good, this and that. Well, in this relationship, the focal point is the parents. The kids, the colonies, they take care of the parents, basically. That's the idea. All right? All right. So,
I had to take care of my 80-year-old father.
this is the idea. Your father's not 80 years old. Here's the idea.
Wow.
What's the focal point of this right here? What's the focus? Devin, what? The mother country is the focus. Right? Who's feeding the mother country? Colonies. Very good. But then the mother country is going to give returns as well, which we'll see. All right? Now, what exactly do the colonists feed the mother country? Yes?
So if the colonies go to the mother country and then the mother country goes to the colonies, then why is that a problem?
What do you mean?
Like, because it says the colonies aren't giving each other things, but if the mother country is taking care of them, then why?
Well, what's the thing? You're going to see. We're going to talk about today maybe the problem that they may see with the mother country, money-wise, and then also the hierarchy of the two, right? Where the colonists fall on the hierarchy in society, all right? Okay, so what exactly are they sending to England? What are they sending to England? See this right here?
Yeah.
See where it says raw materials? We're going to put a couple examples of raw materials right here. Do we have any raw materials you'd like to share? What do you have?
Meat.
Okay, food. Food, that's sure. If you want to put that, that's fine. What else?
Meat.
Okay, lumber. Lumber, yes, please write that down. Lumber is a really good.
Gold.
Hold on, don't go out. Lumber. There are trees everywhere in the colonies. This is really untapped, untouched land. In England, they're chopping stuff down. They've been doing that for centuries. Also, it's all over the place. So therefore, they could ship it back. They ship it back to England. They ship the logs back, the timber back. Right? I'll talk about what they do in a minute. So it goes here. Let's say for today's sake, here's England, the mother country. There it is. Beautiful castle. Look at that.
Oh my God. That person must be really small.
Oh, you'll see though. You'll
She's
see.
gonna be huge.
Okay, so that right there is going to be shipped here, and we'll talk about what happens to it in a little bit. What's another quality product that's going to be there? Fur. Very good. Write that down. Fur. Rawr. Oh, it's not fur?
That's a bear.
Why do you decapitate the bear?
Oh, that's good. Oh, Mr.
You
B. Mr.
decapitated
B.
decapitated.
That's actually lumber.
No.
There's wood on the back.
There's one on the back, yes. Well, lumber was used in the making of this product.
No,
So,
his tongue just fell out.
fur. What's going to happen in the colonies? A lot of animals with fur running around. They're all over the colonies. Colonies are going to trap. They're going to skin, and they're going to send. They're going to send the fur to England. There's also one last thing to talk about. These are, by the way, these are just examples. There's one last portion left. It's called iron. It's in the earth. Iron. Please write that down. Iron in the earth. By the way, Pennsylvania was big into the iron industry. All right. Now, yes, Alex.
Did they trade weapons?
Yeah, sometimes they did. Well, let's talk about this. Alex, let's talk about what they did with all this stuff now. What did England do? All right, so watch. So, when these supplies, when these raw materials are being sent, actually, you know what? I'll have you show me. Watch, just see. So just take a block. Okay? When you take a block, here's all I need you to do.
I want that giant one.
When you take a block, here's what I like you to do. Okay? Generally, these are building blocks. All right? Sure, they are building blocks, but generally they're building blocks for an empire. All right? Now, England, you're the colonists today. You're colonies. You have the raw materials. When you send your raw materials over to England, I'd like you to take your block, and this is simulating you taking your raw materials. Take your block and set your block up around the empire, or around England, right? And put it anywhere you want. You can build on top, you can put it to the side, you can build to the side, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Take one and go over there and do that. And I want you to watch though. What role do the colonies play in this whole mother-colony relationship? Watch what happens to England, the mother country, because of the colonists. Go ahead, take one. Take one and build, go. Take one and build. Go ahead, yep, take one and build.
Oh my God!
Take one and build. Take one and build.
Build it down. You need the stairs.
Take one and build.
Use your
Take your raw materials. Resources. Build it, and they will come. Hey, don't knock it over. Be gentle.
We gotta balance on that.
You can spread out too. You go. You guys are great.
It's the wall. Jake, knock it down.
No. Jake,
We're gonna kill somebody. It's gonna knock it over. Put it in the middle, bud. Put it in the middle. Hey, that ball is in the middle. That ball is like a CD. Put it in the middle.
There you go. How about this?
Hey, you moved on. I just put my hand over it.
Okay. All right, go sit down. You're good. That's good.
Good job, Z.
All right.
I could not do that.
Ready? Go. Okay.
What?
You're supposed to wait until I say go, remember? All right. So, can someone please tell us, make an observation, what just happened as the role the colonists played and what they have done to this particular empire? I got some cards here. Margo. Margo, what observation? Go ahead.
It made it bigger
Okay, so the colonists made this empire bigger. How?
by adding onto it
With what? What are those? What's that?
resources.
Resources. Very good. Raw materials, resources. Okay. So this is a pretty big, important job that the colonists have. They're supposed to kind of fuel or feed the empire. All right. Now, what do the English now do with this? With these things, right? What do they turn the fur into? What do they turn the fur into?
Like, you can turn it into like a blanket or...
Very good. Would you please right here where it says manufactured goods? See where it says manufactured goods? Would you write down the following? they turn them into things such as clothing or hats, whatever you want to say. The metal, the iron, is turned into,
Furniture.
you could say that, not quite yet. Tools, very good.
Yeah.
You can even say nails as well. Very important, nails. What else? Anything?
Furniture.
And the furniture, very good. All right?
Furniture. I don't think any better.
So furniture, tools, clothing, you're not going to really find those in the colonies as much. You're going to find them in England. And England is going to take that and sell it back to the U.S., or sorry, not the U.S., America. It's called the Circle of Life. All right? All right. Okay, here are a few ideas. The New England colonies, as you can see on the right-hand side, what they were kind of famous for. They were famous for the resources such as fur and skins, ships, building, timber. Also, you know, a lot of the whaling and fishing came from that area too. All right? Another, you don't need to write that down. You guys already have that stuff down. Another area, our area, the middle colonies, we were very famous for iron, and we also were called the breadbasket for wheat, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, the southern colonies. Southern colonies were famous for making the cash crops of indigo, rice, and tobacco. Indigo.
Isn't tobacco bad
Clothing.
stuff?
Yes. Okay. Stunt your growth. Makes your hair grow on your on top. Okay.
It makes you grow hair? Wait.
Why are you talking here? So, let me give you an idea though of why I think Devin, were you asking about maybe why they're a little angry? Okay, ready? Here's maybe why the colonists are a little bit angry. I want you to tell me when we're done this, right? So, lumber is taken from the colonies, right? And it's sold though. The empire buys it. They send it along the Atlantic, comes to the empire. The empire buys it for $4, all right? Or, if you will, 10 pounds. 2 pounds, sorry, 2 pounds. Then, they take the things like the nails that were made, the iron, right? They turn it into a table, a handcrafted table. But they sell it to the colonists. They sell it back, the finished product, to the colonists for how much?
$24
$24. So, how much of a profit does the empire make off of this? How much? $20. So why would they be a little upset maybe later on? What might cause some friction later on between the colonists and the empire?
Unfair trading.
Maybe they feel like the trading is a little unfair, or the prices are a little bit too steep there. Yes.
Like,
Dylan.
the colonies are losing like resources,
Yeah.
and they're also kind of losing money.
Very good. Maybe they want to do their own thing. They want to sell their own product too. Build their own. Okay, here's another example. So we have some little critters running around. Little critters running around the northeast.
A creepy crawler.
Right? Trapped and turned into a hat. In England, sold back to the US. All right, last but not least, another reason why the colonists may become a little bit resentful later on. All right, remember the colonists are a couple thousand miles away. I want you to write this down here. All right, you guys have this in the bottom. You guys have a triangle.
Yes.
This is called a hierarchy, this triangle. Usually at the top, it comes to a point, and notice how it's very thin, right? It's narrow. Therefore, there's probably only room up there for one. There's only room up there for one. And then as you go down, though, it becomes a little bit wider. And then at the bottom, it becomes wide. But here's the thing. In this hierarchy system, the top, which are the few, have all the power. The bottom, who are the most, plenty, have barely any power.
So is the top like England? Just like the real.
Tell me, ready? Look at it. Look back here.
England is my city.
I have five people or groups. I have colonists, the king, England, citizens in England. I also have parliament, the governing body, and prime minister, head of the governing body. Take a minute. If you were to put these in the hierarchy order, who goes at the top? Don't say anything loud. Who goes at the top? Who goes second, third, fourth, and at the bottom?
So who's got the most power on the top?
Yep. Right?
Oh, wait.
All right, our triangle. Our triangle. Who's at the top? Who do you think's at the top of this particular triangle?
I got it.
Margo already went. Let's go with Dean. Who's at the top?
King?
That's it, right there. Please write that down. The king is at the top of the. The king has the most power. The king, if you think about it, the king was born into this position that they, at that time, they believed, selected by God, put in that position, all power. Yes.
So if the king died, who would be the?
The successor, the prince or
Well, what if there
family
was
member.
What if there was no prince?
And they go outside. Maybe there's a distant relative who's a nephew of the king or something like that, right? All right. Next.
What if there was a family baby?
Do you think a king who has all the wealth, a lot of power, a lot of land, but do you think that person who's really all powerful and entitled, do you think that person wants to work all day?
Of course. Not. Why wouldn't it?
That king's going to appoint somebody or be appointed to do a lot of the other really kind of leadership roles. Who's second in command in this hierarchy, do you feel? Danny.
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister, very good. Please write that down. Prime Minister, the leader of the government. Alex.
Sorry.
The leader of the government. And what does the Prime Minister lead, Jake? What's that?
Me?
Yeah. What's next?
Parliament?
Parliament, very good. Good job, Jake. So Parliament is next on the totem pole. Now here's where it becomes wider, but also less
Not
power.
the widest.
Less power. How about, let's see, Jackson Y. Who's next in this hierarchy? This is a tough one.
Citizens in England.
Good job. Citizens of England. What gave you that impression that the citizens of England are next?
Because they're in England and that's where all the
Good job.
manufactured goods are.
Good job. They're in England. They're closer to the crown. Good job. Well done. And they're also where all the manufactured is as well. Manufactured goods.
Can I go to the next one?
Hold on. And finally, we have our bottom of the barrel, Charles. Bottom of who? Colonists. So here's another reason why we might have some friction. They are viewed as being the lowly ones.
The lowly ones?
Lowly.
Oh.
They are the lowly ones of the hierarchy. They are seen as beneath everyone else, essentially. This may cause some more problems as well. All right. I hope you guys have an idea about what life was like before the Revolutionary War, just a little bit. About what did the colonists, what was their role? What was the mother country's role? Not too bad. Not too bad in the beginning. They make some money. Colonists make some money. The empire makes some money. A lot of money. And they're okay. All right? But they're seen as being lowly. Okay. Good. Any questions? Put that away and go to school, would you please? Let's talk about ice cream now.
Oh!
All right.
Whoa, buddy.
What?
I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Too bad, man. You can have shaved ice. You can or you can't.
All right.
Colin, can you have ice?
Here's what I need everyone to do. Extremely important time. Mini project starting tomorrow time. First points of the marking period time. Ready? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to set the groundwork. As we were saying, the colonists had a somewhat manageable relationship between the empire and themselves. Now, we're going to talk about language that will be used to show how the colonists went from being okay to then crazy, revolution, I don't want to be part of this any longer, break up, all right? That language, that information will be used on your project tomorrow. You will demonstrate tomorrow how something can go, an object, an idea, whatever have you, whatever you're interested in, how it can go from being ordinary, normal, plain, the original, from that all the way through to completely different change. Go to the Causes of the Revolutionary War folder. Click on the Time Continuum folder. Change over time, time continuum. And then please select the Time Continuum project instructions. All right, here's what you have to do. You have to, follow along with me, the bottom right-hand corner, you have to open it up in Safari. So click the upload button on the bottom right.
Open it back.
What's it called?
It's an arrow with a box, I believe.
Oh, Daniel.
Bottom right.
View only. Oh, we're on right.
Okay,
Wait, is this the?
I have a copy of the instructions up there.
Not even on the right one.
All right, ready? Then what you're going to do is it'll take you to Google Docs, I believe. You're going to click the three dots in the upper right-hand corner. Share and export.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Why everybody here? No.
And then make a copy. Once you make a copy, hit the three dots again, because it'll look like it's a little out of order. Once you are there, hit the, I think it's called print layout on the top right.
Did you
No.
say share and
Make a
export?
copy. Share and export, make a copy.
Pardon the brief interruption. Thank you, 10th period teachers. Reminder for all that during REACH today, we will be doing a lockdown
I did it.
activity. We'll be doing a drill. We'd like to start that drill at approximately 12 p.m. So let's make sure that we're all in our REACH room and ready to go at about 12. Once again, it's going to be a drill. We'll give very specific directions over the announcement. Pretty sure, so wanted to give everybody a heads up in advance.
Okay, so once you now have a copy, ready? Once you have a copy, you're going to see it's a little out of order. I don't know why the formatting just did that, but you're going to hit the three dots again. Three dots up in the corner. And then the first option is print layout. Would you please select that? It'll knock everything back to order. Good?
Where's the cherry? You're a cherry.
No cherry on top. You guys have to put the cherry.
Wait, you have to remove
Where is
us
ice
from the
cream?
ice cream. Where's the ice cream?
Right there. No, that's ice cream. Okay.
Cotton candy sleeve.
What I had hoped, what I had tried to do, is I tried to make an ice cream cone with 5 scoops on it. All right?
Cotton candy flakes.
I don't cover the
All right. This is a rather large tower of ice cream. And what I want to do today is I want to use ice cream flavors to kind of relate to what language we use on a time continuum. Language on a time continuum sounds like this. We have the very, very beginning, which is reactionary. It does not want any change whatsoever. It's the original. Then we move on to a very little change, conservative. Moderate is like half and half. Want the change, but don't want the change. Kind of like back and forth, seesaw, teeter, teeter. Liberal is now starting to say, I want this to change. I don't really appreciate the original. I want it to change. Radical is, I'm done. Not like that. Not like that radical. That radical is, I'm done. I want something completely new.
Yeah.
And that's the thinking of the colonists. When we talk about this over the next few weeks, the colonists started off as being reactionary. Then they moved on to conservative, some change. Half and half, moderate. Liberal, I want a good amount of change. To finally radical, breaking away, revolution. That's the language that we're going to be using. all right? Now, with that being said, let's talk about ice cream flavors. Let's see if we can relate ice cream to those particular terms, all right? Now, your terms and your ice cream flavors are going to be different. That's okay. You don't have to have the same as everyone else in the room. Your ice cream flavors are your ice cream flavors. What flavor do you feel is the most reactionary flavor?
That means which one
What?
is like the best?
No. Let's see, what does reactionary mean?
Original.
Original,
Chocolate.
plain, ordinary. What's the most original ice cream flavor? That's up to you. What do you think, Julie? Vanilla, okay? You don't have to write that down, but that's okay. Does anyone disagree and have another idea for ice cream flavor that's reactionary? What do you think? Chocolate. Another good one. That's plain.
Chocolate and vanilla.
Okay, you gotta be careful though where you start. You could do that. Could do that. All right. So if you agree with vanilla, you can leave vanilla there. If you do not, and you think chocolate is, then put chocolate right here. That's going to be the flavor that you feel is the most reactionary. Have I lost anyone?
Yes. Not
Where
yet.
are we at?
So where do I rate vanilla?
It's already written there for you.
Yeah, but like where do I move to?
Right there. It's reactionary.
So
It's
do
right
I-
next to reactionary. Just leave it. Okay. Now your next one, you are going to put right here the flavor you feel that's conservative.
Oh.
Okay? All right. The next is conservative. The next is conservative. What does it mean to be conservative? Silas. What does it mean to be conservative?
I accept very little change.
Very little change. Can someone tell us what flavor do you feel is a little bit different than vanilla or chocolate or whatever you have decided? That's up to you. Just a little bit of change. It still has that idea of reactionary, etc. We're all good. Everything. I'll just use the card then. So that's fine. Devin.
Chocolate, peanut butter.
Okay, chocolate peanut butter is fine. Good.
Pistachio.
Ava, do you have one?
Vanilla bean.
Vanilla bean. Ooh.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not. It's a little different. What do you think?
French fries.
French vanilla. French vanilla. Yes.
Strawberry.
Strawberry.
Sounds
Good.
fine.
Okay. Now, you can put whatever you want. I'm telling you, I'll give you my example. If I were making my ice cream cone, so mine would be vanilla at the beginning, right? Reactionary.
Banana.
But then my second one,
Would be. It's a weird apple.
I know, isn't it? It's beautiful. My second one, bless you, would be chocolate chip. I would add chips to it.
Oh, that's not pistachio.
I'd add chips to it. It still has vanilla. It still has
That
vanilla.
looks like a car more than it looks like an ice cream
Oh,
scoop.
yeah? You know
Oh,
what?
it's like a car.
I'm an artist, okay? So you-
This is like a car.
So I know rhymes and all.
Okay, next. Sarah.
I swear that's not.
Sarah,
Oh my god.
what does moderate mean?
Accept some degree of change, but hold on to tradition.
So it's like that teeter-totter, right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What do you think is a resemblance of a flavor that reminds you of something that's still traditional, but now it's starting to become different? What do you think?
I was gonna ask something.
Okay, good. Question?
Kind of.
Yeah.
My iPad won't type.
You won't type? Did you make a copy?
It's a double tap. That's what I like to call it.
Did you make a copy?
That's what I call it.
Hey, Chico. Chico.
All right, let's go. All right, ready? What would be a moderate flavor? Something that's in between. Something that you can add to an old-fashioned ice cream flavor. What do you think?
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake, that's a good one.
Orange. Chocolate fudge.
Chocolate fudge.
Ah, just Ooh, sorry.
What do you think?
Chocolate.
Chocolate chip cookie dough. That would be my personal one, yes. Mint chocolate chip, good one. It's green now. Right.
The one where it's strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate.
Neapolitan. They're good, good. What else?
Caramel.
Caramel too, right? So we're adding these things to it. Alex? Banana flavor. Good. So we're still holding on to the vanilla tradition or the chocolate tradition, but we're adding things to it. Like for instance, I say cookie dough. Who adds cookie dough to ice cream raw? It's delicious. I love it. It's delicious. Okay.
I need cookie dough. I just order cookie dough ice cream.
Next is going to be, let's see, Jack McGovern. Jack, what is the next one? This is now, Jack, going to be starting to move towards change. Go ahead. Liberal. What does that mean?
Like a lot of change.
Good degree of change, right? Now we're starting to say, all right, I'm not holding on to the old anymore. I'm starting to get away from that. What to you, give me an example. What to you would be a liberal ice cream flavor? Starting to get kind of strange here. What?
Coffee maybe?
Coffee, good one. Coffee ice cream. Interesting, right? What do you think, Ryan? Coconuts. Pistachio.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's radical.
Rainbow sherbet now. Sherbet, that idea of getting away from ice cream. What else?
Blueberry.
Blueberry. Color. It's all different. Everyone has their own. Okay. Anyone else?
Cherry.
Orange. Yes, we're changing the color. How about if I were to do it, I'd probably have to say, I don't know, gelati? Gelato, sorry, gelato. Sherbet. Sorry, custard and water ice. That's not getting away from that ice cream idea. Okay? All right. Last but not least, Hannah Biddle. What does it mean to be radical?
He's gonna be dope.
Dude.
You gotta be radical,
Your full sentence.
So Hannah said extreme. What is an ice cream product that has now gone away from the idea of original, reactionary, and has moved on to something that is completely different?
Oh, wait, I had
There we go.
Popsicle.
Popsicle, good one. Double dunker, sure. Notice the difference though. Now you're going to completely away. So you guys have totally different ideas of what radical is. That's good. What else? Go ahead. Dilly bar. Froyo. What is it?
Rum raisin.
Rum raisin.
What is that?
Huh?
Rum raisin.
Good. I got one for you. How about Dippin' Dots?
Yeah!
Think about it. It doesn't look like ice cream. But it is, yes.
McDonald's, that's not real food.
McDonald's, yeah. Okay. All right. All right, so before you go, listen up. Before you go, listen. Tomorrow, we will be doing a mini project on what you feel is something that is interesting to you. What is change over time? You are not going to use ice cream. You're going to use something that you are interested in. Using this vocabulary and pictures. What is something you can demonstrate change over time? Have a great day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Yeah. Just brainstorm. Yep. Brainstorm. Thank you. Have a great day. Brainstorm.
Mr. Deep, is it?
Brainstorm.
Is it by yourself?
Yes, it's individual.